When the flight stopped at London for refueling, I was lost in my thoughts. It was a strange feeling to fly by a private jet, to treat a patient in my motherland, where I had started my life journey in an impoverished family. DLF, Dear Lovely Friends. It is commonly believed that Mr. Chaudhary Raghavendra Singh was a pioneer of the real estate business in India. It was he who founded DLF, Delhi Land and Finance, in 1946. His daughter Indira Singh was married to Mr. KP Singh of the Indian Army. Mr. KP Singh, who had worked earlier as an aeronautical engineer in the United Kingdom, backed by sufficient experience, left the army and joined DLF. The visionary couple would grow the company into a multi-crore corporation and remain at the top of the construction industry. The concept of creating residential colonies from the land of the farmers and sharing the profits with the original owners was initiated and implemented solely by the Singhs. Creating the necessary facilities for the construction laborers and mainly focusing on their health and well-being, Indira Singh adopted their villages and spent a great deal of money to render needful services to them. Unfortunately, Indira Singh suffered from lung cancer. Initially, the couple went to London. There they were told that it was nearly impossible to completely cure her. Hence, they searched for the best hospital for her treatment and eventually landed at MSK Cancer Center. Since my name was recommended by the team of doctors treating her, she was brought to me. While treating her, I got acquainted with the Singhs. They were the wealthiest Jat family in the whole of the world, but their wealth did not affect them. Both KP Singh and Indira Singh were so humble that nobody could hazard a guess at their riches. When I mentioned it to them, this was their simple refrain: "We were not born rich." We were not born rich, doctor. We created wealth working relentlessly day and night and steadfastly endured all impediments. In his autobiography, Whatever the Odds, the incredible story behind DLF, Mr. Singh wrote about me. Mrs. Singh recovered and returned to India. After almost 18 years, she was diagnosed with another type of cancer. This time, because of her age, she was unable to travel to the US. Also, an earlier helicopter crash in which she had been involved and had consequently suffered multiple fractures compounded her current clinical status. Hence, she was restricted to her home. Mr. Singh called me to brief me about her. He inquired whether I could travel to India to treat her second primary cancer. He promised to make necessary arrangements. I was expecting airline tickets. He sent me a private jet. I was dumbfounded. I set out from New York to India. My colleague Dr. Manjeet Singh Bains accompanied me. When the flight stopped at London for refueling, I was lost in my thoughts. It was a strange feeling to fly by a private jet to treat a patient in my motherland, where I had started my life journey in an impoverished family. I visited and examined Mrs. Singh but could not save her because of her advanced age and cancer. In February 2018, Indira Singh bade adieu to this world. Mr. Singh and the entire family have been grateful that I was able to give her a lengthy extension of life after her first bout with cancer. Wherever I am, the now nonagenarian Mr. Singh keeps in touch with me and visits me whenever he is in the US. I have read in newspapers that the state government of Andhra Pradesh have recommended the name of Dr. Nori Dattatreyudu for one of the highest civilian honors, Padma Awards. This is a letter written by Mr. Singh. I am one of those front rankers who wholeheartedly support such move. He earned international repute as a specialist doctor who cured many a cancer patient. He is a very successful radiation oncologist. By relentlessly taking part in the medical researches, he was instrumental in spreading his knowledge. His innovative methods of radiotherapy have won the acceptance of many. I know Dr. Nori for the last 16 years. When my wife Indira suffered from the lung cancer, we have scouted for appropriate treatment. We have consulted many doctors and visited many hospitals. Everywhere we could only hear she can't be cured. At the most, she may live only for another 2 years. But some doctors, both in England and the US, suggested consulting Dr. Nori as a last resort. We did not want to lose that option. Then I came to know about Dr. Nori. We met him in the Presbyterian Hospital of New York. After his treatment, my wife Indira recovered. She lived long thereafter, healthy and happy. Science may not be magic, but Dr. Nori is a very good doctor, and in his dexterous hands, modern medicine can work miracles. I started believing since then. I may not hesitate to state that Dr. Nori is a wonderful doctor. He uses available modern knowledge to treat the patients. He uses different, appropriate treatment for every single patient. Either in winning the trust of the patients or instill self-confidence in them, he stands in the forefront. By the time the treatment is completed and the patient is recovered, he becomes a member of the patient's family. A lifelong friend who walks along in need. I repeat this. By the time the treatment is completed and the patient is recovered, he becomes a member of the patient's family. A lifelong friend who walks along in need. In my opinion, he is not only a great doctor but a great humanitarian and a spiritual thinker. When I was invited for the inauguration of the Sai Temple in Baldwin's of New York, I could get acquainted with the unparalleled devotee in him. To build a temple like the one in Shirdi, the help of his wife Dr. Subhadra was also immense. The way he interacts with his colleague doctors or others in his team, he reminds us a capable CEO. In spite of such credentials, he doesn't forget his roots, not even in his sleep. The professional expertise, spiritual thinking, generosity he longs to deploy for the use of his motherland, India. He wishes the Indian youth to shine in all walks of life. Based on the preaching of Sai Baba, the Indian saint, philosopher and guru, he strives to accomplish spiritual progress. If our country is shining on the world arena, it is because of India's own capable children like Dr. Nori Dattatreyudu.